Happy Memorial Day to all you Tan and J-Man Show Nation fans out there. Hope everyone has had a fantastic, safe holiday. I know 3-day weekends are one of the greatest gifts to a man that have been given. To the J-Man anyway, as it is Monday night. I'm feeling refreshed and ready to roll here, T-Dog. How you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, Jay, man. And in your books and in your words, it's the first day of summer.
Yeah.
And according to you, so feels good out there today. Breezy at times, but got some sun today. Got a little sunburnt.
Nice.
You know I am tanner than most, so that means I got to get sun. I got to get burnt first, and then it turns into a tan after it peels.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a good weekend. Finally fired up the grill today. Had some burgers, some hot dogs. So,
nice.
You're not a chili dog guy, are you? You don't like chili, right?
I don't like beans. I'll say that.
Okay.
If your chili doesn't have beans in it, I'll eat it. But
it was beanless chili, but you wouldn't have liked it because it was Skyline. It was Skyline out of the can chili. So
I don't mind Skyline, honestly. I'll go out there and say it. I think it's incredibly overrated in a big old pile of slop garbage, but very edible. I'll say that. And I mainly just like to give some crap to you guys that really like it.
That's fair.
That's it though. I really have nothing. And honestly, the thing I have most against Skyline is it's Cincinnati. That's the thing.
All right.
I have a predisposition to hate Skyline chili because it's based out of Cincinnati. But
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I'll drop a I'll consider Skyline fast food. I'll drop a fast food take for you that I'm sure I'm going to get some heat from the Tan and J-Man Show Nation on, because I've only ate this place once, and I understand why people like it, but I think it's vastly overrated. In-N-Out.
Oh, I agree with you. Definitely. Yeah, I've eaten at In-N-Out, I would say 4 to 5 times in my day, but I 1000% agree with you. I'm much more of a Shake Shack guy. I think I've made it known on this pod many a time that I prefer Shake Shack to In-N-Out. I also prefer Five Guys to In-N-Out, and I also prefer Culver's to In-N-Out. But In-N-Out's one of those things. If you're on the West Coast, when in Rome, you got to have it. So I usually partake. I mean, it's a bad burger is still pretty dang good, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
Actually, before we do Birdie Bogey, this actually segues me into our blind ranking today, which is a pretty good segue. Doing something a little different with the blind ranking this week. It's not sports related. It's more Memorial Day weekend related.
I like it.
And that is grilled meats, because a lot of people fire up their grill for the first time. Now, I'm a guy that grills throughout the winter. I keep a cover on it. I grill 20 belows. 20 belows, kind of pushing it, but teens I'll be grilling. But yeah, blind ranking. I have 5 of the most. I would say the most popular meats to throw on the grill. So starting with hot dogs.
Oh man, I had a feeling you were going to start off with hot dog.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one.
But we're talking about on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be controversial, but I'm going 1. I like grilled hot dogs, man. I like grilled hot dogs. I ate 3 of them today. Could easily eat 4 chili dogs, but I wanted to save room for dessert, so I didn't push myself.
Yeah. Oh man, 1. That is.
It's bold. It's bold. I don't know what else is coming.
And
my backfire.
Well, that's your ranking and your preferential taste.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue with you if that's what.
Still, my backfire on me. So we'll see.
It could, but I'm gonna say it doesn't.
Okay.
That's my thought. Just knowing you as a person. But number 2, cheeseburgers.
I like burgers. I like them better at home than I do out at a restaurant.
That's fair.
I mean, I'll get a burger at a fast food restaurant, but if I'm going to a sit down, I rarely get a burger. I will once in a while. I did get one at Dreddy's place last Friday for lunch. It was really good. I was just in the mood for a burger with some pepper jack cheese on it, some habanero pepper jack. I don't know what else you got out there, so I'm putting burger at 4.
All right. Number 3 I have here on the list is steak.
All right. I was hoping steak's going 2. I feel good. I could have put it one in my mind. I was going back and forth with that and hot dogs, but I find myself more in the mood for hot dogs on the grill than I do steak on the grill. But man, you get a good ribeye on the grill or a good T-bone, medium to medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to beat.
Yeah. Once you really know how to cook a steak, you can make them honestly better than what you get at a restaurant at like your normal chain, sort of non-high end steak place. So yeah, two is a fair ranking, and I think I would have that too as well. Number 4 here is chicken.
I do love myself some chicken. It is my favorite meat, but I don't make it myself on the grill very often. Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of times if we're eating chicken, I'm air frying it. So with that said, I'm actually surprised myself. I'm going 5.
Interesting.
We're talking about just on the grill, but I do eat chicken more than any other meat, though.
Interesting. Yeah, I used to be scared off of doing chicken on the grill just because it's such a quick window of it, being too dry and giving you food poisoning. So but I've dialed it in, and I think I would say here this year I've grilled more chicken than anything.
This year. Okay.
But last one here on the list is pork chop.
All right, it's got to go 3. That would have been 5. Looking back on it, I don't mind pork chops, but I barely ever eat them.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I've ate one. If I had to re-rank it, I still feel good about 1 and 2. I would have put burger 3. Yeah, I would have moved everything up 1 and then pork chop 5.
That's fair.
So, how would J-Man rank his 5?
I would honestly, I'd do cheeseburger 1. Okay. I love burgers on the grill, and as you know, I do order burgers out quite a bit too.
Right.
But I also know how to do them very well on the grill. Not to toot my own horn, but it's hard.
Sounds like you're tooting your own horn to me. But
it's hard to screw up a burger on the grill. And then I'd probably do steak 2, chicken 3, hot dog 4, pork chop 5. So not too far off from your list, but man, I'm hungry now.
Thad Mooney on Facebook says, high heat 5 minutes aside, chicken is done. Thank you, Blackstone. Yep.
It's honestly pretty easy once it was mainly just getting over the fear of salmonella.
Yeah. Well, I've had a backfire before with wings in the air fryer.
Yeah,
from raw where I think they're done, bite into them, nope, there's a lot of blood.
Yeah,
not done. Yeah,
not done.
So,
yeah.
But good. I like switching it up, starting with a different segment than the birdie or bogey, and that's the blind ranking segment, which is brought to you by Like It Is Every Week, Proforma Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Proforma Print 2 Promo Group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs, so you need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815. All right, now we'll get into the birdie or bogey question here. NBA playoffs are hot and heavy. Wild NBA playoffs so far. We'll talk about it here in a bit. But pretty cut and dry question tonight, J-Man. I want to know, who is the NBA's all-time winningest franchise to have never won an NBA championship?
Man, that's a good question. I'm just gonna mark myself down a bogey immediately tonight. So, but good question. Birdie or bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House for good food, casual atmosphere with great cocktails. Located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana.
And it's ironic. We were just talking about pork chops. Their weekend special was a French onion pork chop.
Ah, interesting.
12-ounce marinated bone-in pork chop roasted to perfection, topped with melted provolone and smothered in house-made French onion sauce, finished with crispy Swiss cheese crisps and herb crouton crumbles for the perfect crunch. Served over creamy spinach and with some garlic mashed taters. All for just $35.
Sounds pretty dang good.
It was available for just this past weekend only. So if you missed out, you'll have to wait till they offer next time.
Have they started their summer hours?
Yes, they started last week on the 20th. So their hours are now, of course, they're closed today, and they're always closed on Mondays, but they're closed today for Memorial Day. But you got Tuesday through Thursday, 4 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 4 to 10 p.m. at the Arlington
Nice.
Public House. Yeah. Stop on by, like J-Man said, for a good upscale cuisine, cocktails, and a casual atmosphere, and you won't be disappointed.
Sir.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs, man, wild. It's if I had to define the 2025 NBA playoffs, I'd define it as some parity and new blood showing up and unbelievable comebacks.
Yeah. I mean, it started with the Pacers in game 1 or game 2 or both.
Of you mean
the Western or the Eastern Conference Finals?
That was game one.
Okay. Yep. Down, what was it, 14 or 15 with 4 minutes left, down 9 with 50 seconds left, and somehow we're able to force overtime on a miracle shot by Halliburton there, where it bounces up. You never get that sort of roll ever, and it was incredible. And then last night, Knicks do it, down 20 in the second half, and I think it was the second half. I haven't watched a single second, I'll be honest.
They were down 20 midway through the second.
Okay.
I didn't watch any of last night's game either, but I was following on my phone. They closed at the 14 at half, and the Pacers still had a steady lead for a majority of the second half, and then fourth quarter came, and it just fell apart.
Yeah, Tibbs kind of shook his rotation up a little bit, moved Josh Hart to the bench to start the game. He ended up playing starters minutes anyway, and a couple other role players stepped up, which that is very rare for Tibbs to do. He likes to run his guys, 48 minutes out there, and I think he realizes he needs to get these guys some rest. Eventually took him, 15 years to figure that out. After, I saw a tweet today. It was like Jalen Brunson played 48 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets this year, but now he's taking time off in the second half against the Pacers, down 2-0
in the Eastern Conference Finals.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, it's just kind of weird how that's shaked out. But massive win for the Knicks. Obviously, you go down 3-0, you're likely done.
Oh yeah.
So now I feel like they have some confidence and some momentum back on their side, and we'll see how the final 2 games here in Indianapolis shake out.
Yeah, game 4 is huge tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I honestly think whoever wins game 4 wins the series.
Yeah. Do they do, or is it just the finals where it's 2-2, 1-1-1, or is it 2-3-2?
I'm gonna look it up. I think it's 2-2, 1-1-1.
Okay, because I know the finals is 2-2, 1-1-1. Yeah. But I think the first 2 rounds are 2-3-2.
Let me look it up here.
It's been a long time since I've really followed the NBA, so bear with me. Tan J-Man Show Nation.
Let's see here. NBA playoffs. This could take me a little while to find. Come on now. Yeah, let me try to Google NBA conference.
It's 2-2, 1-1-1. It looks like.
Yep.
Yep,
I just found it. So.
Yeah, they play Tuesday night, and then in Indianapolis, and then Thursday night in New York.
Yeah, and I should have known that, because after game 2, they were making some remarks. TNT like the Pacers don't want to come back here for game 5. Like, they definitely don't want to come back here. Yeah. Pretty much saying that the Knicks would win game 5 at the Garden, but.
Well, they didn't win the first 2 games at the Garden,
right.
So
right.
But yeah, Karl Anthony Towns was fantastic last night, and he finally looks like the player that they paid $50 million to this year in the playoffs. So
bold strategy by Miles Turner to attempt more threes than get rebounds last night.
That's kind of been his game, hasn't it, in his career? I don't think he's much. I mean, he's 7 foot tall. I don't think he averages much more than 6 rebounds a game or
shot blocker, but he's not a big time rebounder.
No, not a big time rebounder. And I don't know if that. I mean, I know sometimes rebounding is a skill. A lot of it has to do with grit. I mean, you look at Josh Hart. Is that his name? Yeah, Josh Hart. Mm-hmm. Over 9 rebounds a game this year, and he's 6'4". So it's just toughness. A lot of it is toughness, and Miles has never been the biggest guy as far as beef goes. He's tall, but that doesn't always translate to rebounds. I mean, you look at Brook Lopez's career. I mean, he's been a great NBA player, shot blocker, but he's never averaged much more than 7-8 rebounds per game in his career. And I think now at the later stage of his career, he's more 4 to 5 rebounds a game. But he impacts the game in so many different ways that I think that's kind of Miles Turner in a nutshell.
Did you see that the NBA is allowing Tyrese Halliburton's dad to return to games starting tomorrow night?
Oh, interesting. Hopefully he doesn't pick a fight with Jalen Brunson or somebody.
He's probably learned his lesson now, but I do think it's time to let him back.
Yeah, he's been gone for series and a half now already.
Yeah.
So it's I don't think he'd be stupid enough to do that again. He shouldn't have been stupid enough to do it the first time, but he was. And maybe that'll add something to the Pacers. Who knows?
I think tomorrow night's also the game, the New York firefighter that got hit with all that trash and stuff after the Eastern Conference Finals matchups were set. I think he's coming into Indianapolis for Game 4 as well.
Man, must pay to do stupid things.
It does sometimes.
You get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get free tickets. I'm sure to. Is it McAfee that's bringing him in?
No, it's Halliburton.
Oh, Halliburton.
It was on the McAfee show where it got all set up. He was a guest. Halliburton came on to a surprise of the guy, and Halliburton said, "We'll fly out, get you boarded up, you and the guest of your choosing, get you boarded up, tickets on me, flight on me, hotel on me." Like, all right, what stupid thing can I go do to get?
I know that's our problem. We don't do asinine things, and we never get free stuff like that. It's not fair.
Or when we did, nobody saw it.
Right. I mean, there's multitude of evidence against us that we've done a lot of stupid things here in the 33 years we've been on planet Earth. But they've never been stupid enough to have anything come to fruition for us.
Didn't go viral.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time.
I know.
Aaron Naismith is a game time decision tomorrow night for the Pacers, which would be big.
Yeah, he was kind of the reason they came back game 1, wasn't he?
Yeah, shoot 8 and 9 for 3. That
helps. Yeah, that
flamethrower at the end. My gosh,
that definitely helps. Yeah,
he couldn't miss. Just couldn't miss. But we'll see. Game 4 tomorrow night. Pacers, I believe, are 2.5-point favorites. Let me check real quick. I know Game 4 of the Thunder and T-Wolves are tonight. Thunder 3.5-point favorites on the road. Yes, Pacers 2.5-point favorites tomorrow night.
Thunder took it to Minnesota game 1, and then Minnesota absolutely shellacked them in game 2. They were up 40 at one point.
Game 3.
It's game 3. It's game 3 tonight, right? Or is it 2?
This is game 4.
Haven't been paying attention. What's the series at? 2-1 Thunder?
2-1. Yeah.
Haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, Thunder beat them. Let's see here. Thunder beat them last Tuesday, 114-88.
Okay.
And then on Thursday, 118-103, and then the Timberwolves beat them Saturday night, 143-101.
Well, we're barely hearing about that series because it's all about the Knicks. So that makes sense. I think the Thunder get that one done.
I do too. I think they get done tonight.
Yeah, they win tonight, but I think it goes 6. That's my guess.
I'll say 5. I think they get done 5.
I think Minnesota at least beats them one more time, and you put Terrence Shannon in, good things happen. Clearly, I think he played 13 minutes in Game 3 because they needed some sort of spark, and he put up 15 points.
There you go.
Barely playing any non-garbage time minutes here this postseason, but
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. And the NBA finally revealed their 2025 or 24-25 season MVP.
Yeah, the free throw line, SGA, free throw merchant, getting there, throwing his head back. They got to figure out something. Jalen Brunson's just
as bad at it. Yeah.
And they get bailed out constantly. So there's something the NBA has to do. I don't know what you do. But it was supposed to get better in the playoffs, more physicality, all of that, but it's kind of been the same thing that's played out in the regular season that's happening now. So
good old Melo Trimble used to do that at Maryland.
Oh yeah, he was kind of the first one I can remember throwing his head back in Big Ten play and getting the calls. Then it started becoming a normal thing. I mean, Terrence Shannon got to the free throw line a ton last year because he'd do that too. So if it helps my team, great. If it is against my team, I hate it. So it's kind of one of those
100%.
things. Yeah, it's kind of one of
100%.
those things. So.
Somebody has to walk before the others run, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But you eventually you originally picked the Knicks to win the series and the Thunder. You sticking with those picks or you changing them
Yeah,
up?
I'm sticking with them.
Okay.
Especially, I mean, obviously, if the Knicks would have lost last night, they would have been done, in my opinion. But this will actually be the J Man's Book It prediction of the week for this week. I think the Knicks Pacers series goes 7. That's my prediction for this, and I think I had it going 7 last week as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking
Mm-hmm.
to it here. But J Man's Book It prediction of the week brought to you by Travis Watching Agency, insurance agency for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com.
Travis is going to be very disappointed in your book prediction.
Yeah.
Because he is I believe he's an Indiana Pacers season ticket holder. If not, he goes
That
to a
makes
lot of
sense. He
games.
goes, yeah,
He was in the house last night.
He was
Yeah.
there last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my bookie prediction wasn't that the Knicks would win. It was just that it would go 7.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As long as it goes 7, I get it correctly.
That's true.
But Sean Shriver with a big one here, the slaw dog. I assume that's coleslaw on a hot dog. That's just my guess.
No, it was the Oscar Mayer 500 that was ran
know.
on Saturday, and the winner was the. They all named their Oscar Mayer weenie mobiles, and the winner was Slaw Dog.
Oh, you know, my mind immediately went to food. That's how
That's
locked
all right.
in I am on
That's
the
all
meats,
right.
and I like hot dogs, and I love coleslaw. So,
have you ever had a Slaw Dog?
I'm sure I have. I know I've had a hot dog with like pulled pork on top and coleslaw, but no, I don't know if I just had coleslaw. But that sounds pretty delightful.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. He asked my dad and I about that the other day. We're like, we have no thoughts. I said it looked like the crowd was enjoying themselves. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing the weenie mobiles race around the track a little bit.
I did see that on Twitter. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
I saw a clip of that. But.
Yeah, but the Indy 500 was ran over the weekend. Yesterday, of course, it was the 109th winning with Alex Palou winning. He's a young stud driver, I guess I'll call him, on the Indy circuit. He's the first Spaniard to win the Indy 500, which is pretty cool.
Is it true he's won 6 of the last 7 races he's been in?
Yeah,
That's
he's
ridiculous.
Stupid. I think this was the 16th win on the IndyCar series overall in his career. First Indy 500, of course. But yeah, I mean, I was out and about doing other things with family yesterday, so didn't catch when we got home. The race just ended, so didn't catch any of it. But yeah, the payout for the Indy 500 reached an all-time high for the 4th consecutive year. The ratings were at best going back since 2008. It averaged over 7 million viewers, with I think it topped out at like 8.4. Wow. But it was also not blacked out around Indianapolis for the first time in like 9 years because it was a sellout for the first time in 9 years. That helps when more people can watch. Of course, the ratings are going to go up.
That's pretty stupid. They still do blackouts.
It's so stupid. So stupid. Just dumb. But it was a good weather day for the 500. I mean, a little chilly, probably actually in the 60s, but it wasn't 95 and scorching like it has been a lot of times.
I'm sure they preferred this weather than that for sure.
Marcus Ericsson, who was second, got penalized today and had dropped to a 31st place official finish.
Oh, what happened?
Let's see here. He failed inspection. Let's see what he failed it for. Post-race inspection revealed unimproved modifications to their vehicles.
Oh.
So he and Kyle Kirkwood, who's a part of the Andretti team, who finished 6th, they were forced to forfeit both their prize money and championship points earned.
Ouch. I bet somebody's getting fired.
So, yeah. So they, and then both teams were each fined $100K. And the competition managers for both have been suspended for the upcoming race on the streets of Detroit. And it says the IndyCar said the modifications made by Andretti Global were to the energy management system covers provided by Delaria, the company that provides the chassis for the NTT IndyCar series. The rulebook states that those parts must be used as supplied. So they obviously modified them instead of using them as spec. So
I'll be honest with you, cricket sounded more familiar than that sentence you just said.
but there's another. I mean, there's another guy who got failed an inspection who was finished 12th, and now he's labeled as the last place finisher. So
How do they let them race if they fail inspection? Unless the inspection's afterwards? It seems like they do the inspection first.
they do inspections during the week, but they also do post race inspections because you can make modifications during the race.
That's fair. Yeah,
and right before I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but the guy I picked back in January, McLaughlin, he wrecked on the pace car lap. He didn't even make the green flag drop of the race, which I felt bad for him. You never see that happen. Yeah. I don't know, but he manned up, faced the media. A lot of people would cower and not face the media. Rory McIlroy won't even talk to the media 4 days of a major when he's not playing well. So I gained some respect for him doing that. So yeah, but I don't know what you would drink if you were an IndyCar driver to win the 500 because you don't like milk.
No, cow pus, what I call it.
Oh,
oh man, what would I drink?
I think there was a guy one year that was lactose or something. I think he was able to drink maybe water or something, but
I'd probably drink water. Yeah, water would be the safest bet. Oh yeah, milk's disgusting.
See, Tom Brady got booed heavily when he was announced at the 500 yesterday.
I didn't see that. That doesn't surprise me though.
The Colts fans
still getting booed. Colts fans living in 2009, per usual.
Yeah, he took part in Fox's broadcast, but he performed a ceremonial first lap with Jimmy Johnson before the race. So prior to that lap, he came out in a racing uniform. He was announced to all the fans, and he was booed pretty loudly, but he was smiling and taking it in.
Yeah.
So
he's used to that. Gets booed about everywhere he goes.
Yeah. So I know we're jumping all around here, but speaking of Colts and booing and everything, Jim Irsay, longtime owner of the Indianapolis Colts, passed away at the age of 65 last week. I know he had some health problems, over the past few years, but I still think it came as a surprise to everybody.
Yeah, I would say. I was very surprised he was only 65. To be honest, he looked much older than that, and you could tell he was having some issues. But he was I would say a fairly well liked owner by Colts fans. He was kind of a character a little bit, but he'd always tweet out whether the roof was going to be open or closed that day, which was kind of his funny quirk he had. But a very interesting guy for sure as an owner goes.
Yeah, I think he did a lot for the city of Indianapolis. I think he really had a passion for that. And I mean, the Colts have won a lot. They've been a good franchise. Don't get me wrong. They probably should have had one more Super Bowls under his era than one. Probably.
They ran into the Patriots.
They did. And then the one they made, they got Sean Payton in the second half. Onside kick turned the tide of the whole game. So, but if it wasn't for him, I mean, who knows where the Colts would be at? I believe one of his daughters is going to take the reins over. I think that's been the plan for a long time anyways. So we'll see what happens going forward with the franchise.
Yeah, they were pretty garbage there for a while before. I mean, I think his dad owned them, right? And he's the one that moved them from Baltimore to Indianapolis. But they were pretty bad from, the 80s and 90s for the most part until Peyton got there. So he was able to sustain it a little better than his dad did.
Yeah, they did make that AFC championship in the early 90s or mid 90s against the Steelers. Yeah, and that, nowadays it would have been interesting with all the replay system and the challenges and everything. If that catch at the end would have been ruled incompletion still or a catch. I think it was still incomplete, but it was pretty close. But you're right. For the most part, they struggled, and then Peyton came and struggled early on, but then they turned into paying in the whole AFC side for a long time. Then Andrew Luck came, and they were a pain, but should have been a pain for even longer than they were. So Yep.
And when Andy was there, I never viewed them as a Super Bowl contender for whatever reason. They were good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Tom Brady was still there, so that might have been why. But and they did get to one AFC Championship game with Andy, and that was Deflategate, right?
Deflategate, right? Yeah. Nope, it was Deflategate when the Patriots beat the Seahawks.
Yep. Oh, okay, that was that year.
Yeah, because Andy went into Denver and beat Peyton in the playoffs.
I remember that. Yeah, that was
And
one
John
of the,
Fox's last game as Denver's head
yeah.
coach. Yeah,
That might have been the last time I rooted for Denver, honestly,
that's fair.
or the
Fair.
last time I rooted for the Colts. I don't really remember. Now that I
That's
think about
fair. That's well, and you know, you talk about Colts running into Brady. Well, even the Andrew Luck years. Denver got to
it.
two
Yeah,
Super Bowls in
yeah.
that time frame.
Brady
So,
and Peyton. Yeah.
yep. And the Steelers weren't
Flack,
slouches.
yeah, Flacco.
Flacco.
Well, that Flacco year wasn't. Andy was still in college, I believe. Yeah, that was
No,
2000, that was
no,
2011.
he wasn't.
That was 2011, wasn't it?
No, no, the
It was
Flacco
2012.
year was Manning's first year in Denver.
Okay. Oh, so that would have been Luck's rookie year.
Yeah, yeah.
But they weren't really a threat then.
They got to the playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think now
Yeah,
that I think about it,
because that wasn't that the was that the year they had the crazy comeback against the Chiefs at Lucas Oil in the playoffs.
that was either year one or year
Oh, year
two. I
two.
think.
Okay.
I don't. I don't remember.
Okay. All's a blur, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that was the same year that Notre Dame had their run
Yep.
too, so it was kind of brutal.
Well, Indiana was a 1 seed in the
Yeah,
tournament.
it was rough for fans that hated all three of those teams.
Yeah,
And
Purdue was god awful in football and basketball. So,
yeah, Notre Dame had a ton go their way, and I remember the Colts. It was kind of the same way. They had a ton go their way that season. But
well, actually, Purdue was no, it was the next year they were god
Purdue
awful.
went 6-6, weren't they?
That was 6 and 7 after a humiliating part of Dallas bowl loss to the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I digress. One thing I did want to bring up before we do on this day, and we were talking about NBA playoffs earlier, and we were talking about how it's been kind of known as crazy comebacks. In your sports fandom, what are some of the best comebacks? We're actually going to go positive. Best comebacks you can remember your teams making.
I mean, number one that pops out is Game 4 of the NLDS against San Francisco Giants. Down 3, 9th inning, we get KB leads off with a single. Rizzo walks. Zobrist doubles. So now it's a 2-run game. Nobody out, second and third. Wilson Contreras pinch hits for. It was originally Russell, then it was Coughlin, but they brought in a lefty, so then they put in Wilson Contreras. It's a 2-run single up the middle. Hayward, terrible bunt, but Brandon Crawford throws it away. Hayward ends up a second, then Javi hits a RBI single to essentially win it, and then Aroldis Chapman went 1-2-3 in the ninth. That is the number one comeback in my mind.
I'm surprised. I thought there would be another one, number one, in your mind.
I mean, Illinois basketball didn't win the title that year, so maybe that's why.
Okay.
But yeah, the down 15 with 4 minutes left was pretty crazy. Dolphins, there haven't been too many. Maybe in Baltimore, down huge, and Tua throws 6 touchdowns. That's one. There was a comeback that Illinois basketball made in 2008, Big Ten ACC Challenge. 2007 or 2009, because it was Brandon Paul and DJ Richardson's freshman year. They were down 21 at half at Clemson and came back and won. That was pretty good. Yeah, I would say those. I would say the Cubs won. Of course. I guess Cubs didn't have too many come from behind wins in the rest of the playoffs. I don't think that were substantial anyway. They might have been down a run in the 3rd or 4th inning and came back and won. But yeah, Cubs Giants Game 4 NLDS 2016 is my top in my opinion.
Another thing I need to mention about the NBA that I forgot to mention, and I just want to get it out there, is it's interesting. The Pacers are 10-0 when not in Game 3s in the playoffs, but they're 0-3 in Game 3s.
That's weird.
Yeah, really weird.
That's a weird stat.
Really weird. For me, think of the Broncos. First off, was that Peyton's first year in Denver, 2012 season. They were down 24 at half in San Diego at the time on a Monday Night Football game. Came back and won in regulation, and then that speared them to like a 12-game win streak. So they were really struggling out the gate. Everybody's like, "What the heck's going on?" Like, did they just make a huge mistake signing Peyton to a 5-year, $96 million deal, coming off neck surgery, and then they really got going. Can't really think of any other comebacks. Purdue football back in 2001, they had a big one up at the Metrodome against Minnesota, which they hit a stupid long field goal to force overtime, then won in overtime. And even to get into field goal range, they had the ball, I think, with inside the 5-yard line and had to drive down the field with like 30 seconds to go and did it. The quarterback was Brandon Hance at the time. He was quarterback right after Breeze for first portion of the year, and then got benched for Kyle Orton later on. Then he transferred to USC and never played. Can't think of any others. Purdue basketball, I would say the 2009-10 season, they were at Alabama. The same night Mark Ingram was announced Heisman Trophy winner, and the place was rocking. Purdue was down pretty much all game, but kept scratching and clawing. And Chris Kramer actually led the comeback with an offensive performance in the second half. Kind of 9 minutes to go, they really made a charge and ended up winning that game. But like when I think Purdue football or basketball coming back, it's a lot of times they'll make a valiant comeback and still lose at the end.
Still lose. Yeah.
So I just can't think. I'm sure I'm missing others. I just can't think of many. I mean, as bad as Purdue football was last year, if they would have won at Illinois, that would have been a heck of a comeback. But they couldn't get it done in overtime, so I don't even think of that. I'm sure there's other Bronco ones, but I don't know. I've tried to think about them today when my dad mentioned this topic to me, and I just couldn't think of too many. I could think of like plenty of games and moments that don't involve my teams, but not ones that involve my teams really.
Yeah, a regular season one that I can remember as far as Illinois basketball is the Tyler Griffey buzzer beater. I think they were down. I think they were down 10-12 with about 5 minutes left, and DJ Richardson had, I think, 10 in a row to tie it, 10 or 12 in a row to tie it, and then they end up, Tyler Griffey buzzer beater. But there's got to be some from the Underwood years that where they were down big and came back. I remember they got down 18-20 within the first with 5 minutes left in the first half at Penn State in 2020. The COVID year with no fans there, and they ended up winning by 18. They were down. One that really stands out was that same year they were down 15 at halftime at Northwestern, and I remember hearing that Underwood didn't even go into the locker room at halftime. He just wanted to see if his team would work it out, and Illinois outscored them. I'd have to look it up. It was like 52-8 in the second half. I think it was just an absolute whooping. I'm gonna go look it up real quick now that you got me on the topic, but it was an absolute.
I'm impressed you can remember details of that season, because that season is just a blur.
It was weird.
I don't remember anything.
They were a 1 seed. That helps me remember.
That's right. You're right. That's a good point.
So if it was just a middling season, I barely remember anything from 2 years ago, the Matt Meyer year, because they were a 9 seed, just kind of boring. At Northwestern, let's see, they ended up winning 81-56. They were down 43-28 at half, and won the second half 53-13. So I wasn't off by two. No, I wasn't off by too far. They won the second half by 40. That's a pretty good half there, but that's crazy. One that sticks out to me.
That's crazy. I mean, of course, if we're talking about outside of our teams, I think of Super Bowl 51, 48-3, or 48. Jeez, 28-3 lead by the Falcons, choking it away to the Patriots, ultimately losing in overtime.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, I think, Super Bowl wise for sure. That's happened.
Yeah. Warriors blowing a 3-0 series lead to the Cavs that one year. That was a big comeback.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I put myself on the spot. I can't think of much.
I'm so bad at even who played in the championship games of recent years. I can go back.
I'm getting back
10 years, no problem. But the past 5 years, there haven't been any too. Florida was down by a decent amount this year in the in the title game.
Well, so was Kansas 2 years ago.
Yeah, they were down big at half or big in the first half to Carolina. Came back and won, but man, big comebacks. A big NCAA tournament one was that one where I think it was Texas A&M against Northern Iowa. A&M was down 12 with 40 seconds left, and they kept forcing turnovers and ended up tying it. Alex Caruso, and I think they ended up winning the game. I can't remember if they won now, but that was a massive comeback.
And of course, I got to mention as a Yankee fan, I don't have to, but I will. The ALCS in 03. Blowing a 3-0 lead. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty big.
Yeah. Not 03, 04. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was
No,
04.
04. Yeah, 03
'03 was the
they lost to the Marlins. Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Boone walk-off
Yeah, they
against
should have lost that year.
Timmy Wakefield. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they lost to the Marlins. So, yep. Yep. We want to get educated.
I do. I need it.
All right. Let's look
Terrible.
at some sporting events that happened on May 26th. A lot of Preakness. A lot of Preakness. Wednesday, 1925, future Baseball Hall of Fame center fielder Ty Cobb was the first to collect 1,000 extra base hits when he doubled in the Tigers' 8-1 win against the Chicago White Sox at Comiskey Park.
He was a pretty good hitter, pretty good lefty stick there.
I had to read this to make sure I'm reading it correctly. On this day in 1946, New York Yankee Mel Ott retires from playing to be a manager, only with a 2 for 42 and hitting .048.
He must have started the year 2 for 42, and he's like, it's probably time to hang it up.
Yep. Seems like he's something you'd see in the movie.
Yeah. Or my junior year of high school.
This day, I wasn't going to bring it up. On this day, 1959, MLB Pittsburgh Pirates Harvey Hendricks pitched 12 perfect innings, then loses in the 13th to the Braves at Milwaukee County Stadium.
You will never, I would put money on that we will never see a guy throw 10 innings or more in a game anymore. I think those days are over unless we have a very rare, low pitch, 9-inning game that goes to extras that maybe they'll throw him out there for the 10th, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah. On this day, 1974, the Indianapolis 500 was ran for the first Sunday start ever.
Oh,
Johnny Rutherford claimed first of 3 Indy victories.
I wonder if they used to do it on Monday.
I always thought it was Sunday, so that's news to me. News to me. On this day, 1988, the Stanley Cup Finals were won by who?
88. Whoever Wayne Gretzky played for, I have no clue.
Actually, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. The Edmonton Oilers beat the Boston Bruins 6-3 for a 4-game series sweep, and the Oilers are in it right now against the Stars. You got the Oilers and Stars, and the Hurricanes and the Panthers.
Okay, I thought it was the Cup.
Yep. Not quite the Cup yet. On this day, 1991, the Indianapolis 500 was ran. Rick Mears won from the pole, becoming the third 4-time winner, joining A.J. Foyt and Al Unser. Record 6th career pole position for Mears. On this day, 1993, Major League Baseball, Carlos Martinez famously hit a ball off Jose Canseco's head for a home run.
Yeah, that's I used to have like a baseball blooper video, like a DVD from like the 90s, and that was about the number one play on there. He biffed it right off his noggin for a homer.
Here's one you don't see very often. Two teams both hitting inside the park home runs in the same day.
That is rare.
Same game. On this day, 1997, Sammy Sosa of the Cubs and Tony Womack of the Pirates hit inside the park home runs.
I wonder where that game was at.
Well, I take that back. It might not have been against each other. It might have just been in the same day, because I at first thought it was against each other, then I read it and it didn't state that. So
yeah, I'm trying to think where Sosa's was. It's so hard, and it's nearly impossible to hit inside the park or at Wrigley unless they don't know the ground rules and they stick their hand in the ivy or something, and then it's game on if the ball gets stuck. Last one I've seen there that I can remember was Tony Campana, and it's because it hit off the sidewall, and it probably could have been scored a E7 by the left fielder Yonder Alonso with the Reds at the time. But it's really difficult to do that. I can't remember where he did it, but I can see it.
I'll look it up here in a bit. Right. So, on this day, 2002 Indy 500, defending champion Elio Castroneves of Brazil became the 5th driver in Indy 500 history to win back-to-back races for a second of 4 race victories. Spider-Man, his nickname for climbing the fence.
Oh.
Some other Indy car. On this day in 2015, the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA Eastern Conference. Okay, that's cool. A lot of other Indy 500. So, yeah, that'll do it.
Nice.
on this day this week, which is brought to you by, like it has been every week in 2025 and in 2024, Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is we get to read up here. There it is. Is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of Texas with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting them at Mooney Woodcrafts on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you tell them the Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your first sign order. And Thad is starting to experiment with some laser designing as well.
Nice.
So not just wood, but also some laser designing. Let me see if I can show you one here on the camera. He made this for Smith Family Farms in Rochester. It's hope you can see that. Mm-hmm. It's a patch like you see on hats.
Cool.
So yeah, he's
very cool.
He could be doing some rebranding here in the near future. Might not just be Mooney Woodcrafts. So be on the lookout for that. But if you're looking for a wooden sign, get a hold of Thad. He's your man. 15% off your first sign order if you let him know the Tan and J-Man Show sent you. All right, J-Man, I feel like we got a lot of baseball to catch up on.
Yeah, Cubs had a good week. They've had a good 7 days since we've done this. 7 games, I should say, since we've done this. They've gone 5-2 against teams they honestly really should beat. They won 2 out of 3 in Miami. Should have been a sweep. Up 1 in the 9th, 2 outs, nobody on, and 0-2 count on Derek Hill and Cubs current closer, I should say, Danny Palencia. Hung a breaking ball. He hits it into the gap, walks a guy, gives up a 2-run double to win it. So that was very frustrating, but they found a way to win the next 2. Then they go into Cincinnati, where they haven't won a series there since 2022, I think, and get down 4-0 in the first inning, and then get down 6-2. And Pete Crow Armstrong put on an absolute show. Hit a 2-run homer off of Hunter Green, 100-mile-an-hour fastball in the outside corner. He pulled for a homer. It's literally the fastest pitch. It's the first pitch ever at 100 mile an hour in that location for a lefty to hit out to right center. And he did it. And then he hits a grand slam to give him the lead. And Cubs absolutely lit them up from the 7th inning on, scoring 11 runs the final 3 innings. They lose on Saturday, and then yesterday find themselves down 8-3. Chip away, end up tying it on a Reese McGuire, who just got called up. So interesting story with him. He's been an up and down guy. He's been with the White Sox, Blue Jays, Red Sox. He had some off the field issues that if you want to Google it, I'm not going to say it on air because it's kind of bad.
I'm Googling it.
But
Reese McGuire?
Yeah. Please do not read
I'm
it
not
on
going
air.
to say it.
He gets released by the Cubs. He was in AAA, gets released a few weeks ago because he wants to explore other opportunities. Then they bring him back, and immediately Miguel Amaya strains his oblique. So he's out for probably a month, I would say, at least. And Reese McGuire comes in.
Good.
Yeah, pretty bad. Reese McGuire comes in, hits a homer in his first at bat, and then hits a game-tying homer in the 8th inning. And Cubs end up Seiya Suzuki with a 3-run bomb just a few batters later to put the game away. And so they had 2 comeback wins against the Cincinnati Reds. And then today, I would say played their D- game. Only had 4 hits today, but they're playing the 9-45 Rockies, so they found a way to win 3-1.
9-45 on May 26th. You haven't even won a double digits yet. That's embarrassing.
They did beat the Yankees once over the weekend, which was a shock. And this is a series Cubs have to sweep. There's no excuse not to. I mean, Rockies have won. I can count on one hand, how many games they've won on the road. So have to sweep this one. And they are 12 games over before the end of May for the first time since 2016. So they're getting the pitching is still a major concern. Ben Brown, who's been in the rotation all year, has an ERA near 7 now. They have injuries with Shota Imanaga. He's out until well into June, is what Craig Counsell said, which is not good. Bullpen has pitched better, but still a major concern. And but this offense, they're leading the majors in runs currently, 6 runs a game. 5 of the top 6 home run leaders in the NL Central are Cubs. They have the top 4. Pete Crow Armstrong has 14, Seiya Suzuki 14, Kyle Tucker 12, Dansby Swanson 11, and Carson Kelly with 9. Those are 5 of your top 6 in the NL Central, with O'Neill Cruz with 10 or 11 on the season. And as of yesterday, it was Seiya Suzuki was leading the National League in RBIs. Pete Crow Armstrong was right behind him, one behind him for second. So they are playing very, very good baseball. First in runs, as I said, third in homers, second in RBIs, third in steals, first in batting average, third in on-base percentage, second in slugging, third in OPS, fifth in walk percentage. They have the 6th best strikeout percentage. They run the bases really well. They play great defense. Pitching, major concern. And then division-wise, they're 3 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals, who have won 16 of their last 21 games, and they've not gained really a single game on the Cubs. So that's a very good thing to hear. And hopefully this week they can win, 5 of 6, and then schedule gets a little more difficult. They do go to Washington, who's not very good, but they haven't had good success there. Then they go to Detroit, then they go to Philadelphia. So a tough road trip coming up, and they need to bank wins when they can. But Sean Shriver, did you see where O'Neill Cruz of Pittsburgh hit the fastest home run in StatCast history this weekend? I did. 122 miles an hour.
That's
an absolute laser beam. I don't think it was the fastest ball ever hit in StatCast era. I'm pretty sure the fastest ball ever hit was a Giancarlo Stanton ground out, believe it or not, at 123 miles an hour off the bat. Hit right to the second baseman. But yeah, fastest home run ever, O'Neill Cruz. And they had a halfway decent week. Honestly, they won 2 or 3 against the Reds. And then I think they might have won 2 or 3 against the Brewers as well.
Up to 19-35 record.
1935 record, 13 and a half games out, though, which is not ideal. 14 out now, yes. This was as of yesterday. But elsewhere around baseball, Philadelphia has the best record in the National League. They are 2 up on the Mets as of last night. Again, the Memorial Day game slate has not been updated on this that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Baseball Reference. But Mets are 32-21. Braves are 8.5 out. Washington 10 out. Miami 12. Cubs 3 games up on St. Louis. 6.5 up on both the Reds and Brewers. 14 up on the Pirates. Dodgers have a game lead on the San Francisco Giants. 2 up on San Diego. 6 up on Arizona. 23 games up already on the 23.5 probably at this point.
It is 23.5
on the Colorado Rockies. Seattle Mariners winning the AL.
They are 3-23 on the road.
I was going to say I could count on one hand how many road games they've won.
And 6-22 at home. I mean,
Cubs need to win the next 2. I mean, you look at the pitching matchups, they should, but you never know. It's baseball. It's weird. I will be in not a very good place if they lose the next 2. That's for excuse me, dang sure. So hopefully the Cubs can do that. 33-21. I'm feeling pretty good about where they're heading, and they need to make a move for a starting pitcher sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, teams are very hesitant to trade guys All-Star break even. So you got maybe 6 weeks before you can really start digging into the trade market. So
have they extended Kyle Tucker yet?
No. That ain't happening, I would say. And I think Tom Ricketts' house might get burned down if they don't. They'll say they tried when he ends up signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but no one will believe them, nor should we. So hopefully they do. That's for sure, because they need it. This can't be a 1-year sort of thing. This needs to be a sustainable winner, which there's no reason why they shouldn't be. And if they decide not to, it's entirely on Tom Ricketts and his. I'm finding myself getting angry, and I shouldn't be getting angry because they're 33-21. So I'm gonna.
That's my fault. That's all me. That's all me.
Seattle Mariners winning the AL West by a 1.5 as of last night up on Houston. Texas Rangers have been very disappointing. They lost 2 of 3 in Chicago White Sox over the weekend. That's bad. That's poor. Angels 4 games back. The Athletics have lost like 14 of their last 15.
There goes my bold prediction there.
Yeah, they were looking pretty good there for the first 6 weeks, and they have just flatlined here.
Yep.
But White Sox are bad, 16.5, but they're kind of fun bad. They're better than last year, that's for sure. Rockies are on pace to actually break the White Sox loss record. So that's
people
fun.
need to stop going to games.
Agreed.
But they won't.
Royals are 29-25. The Twins have been on fire the past month or so. They are right in at 4 games back. Cleveland as
Good
well,
division.
4 games back.
Good
It is
division.
very good division. Yeah, 4 of the 5 are over 500. Detroit has the second best record in the majors right now. So Yankees are winning the East by 6 games. All those, I mean, Baltimore's been the most disappointing team in the
They
league.
fired their manager, right?
They did, and I think he's a pretty good manager. You lose games, the manager is going to be the casualty, but honestly, the owner should be the casualty.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all these young position players, and they didn't even attempt to sign Corbin Burns this offseason. And their pitching, they signed a bunch of old guys that have just gotten absolutely rocked. I mean, their team ERA this year is 5.54. They have one good guy in the rotation, Tomoyuki Sugano, who is a rookie from Japan. He's a 35-year-old rookie, 3.07 ERA, striking out less than 5 batters per 9 innings. Can't imagine that's sustainable. They had Charlie Morton was kind of their big pickup. He's 0-7. I don't like wins and loss record for a starting pitcher, but he's 41 years old, 7 losses already, 7.68 ERA. So he's earned every bit of those losses. And then Kyle Gibson, 4 starts for him, 16 ERA before they let him go. So their bullpen has a few good pitchers in it, but that rotation is absolutely brutal so far, and they are the most disappointing team in the league. But everyone else besides the Yankees in the AL East is pretty mediocre. Boston's 2 games under 500. Rays are right at 500. Toronto Blue Jays are a couple games under. So pretty disappointing from some of those teams that you'd think should be competing significantly better than they are. But yeah, baseball. We're here almost June already. I mean, they've played 54 games to date, so we're a third of the way through the season already, which it happens really fast. And this stretch to the All-Star break is big because you want to show your front office that you're going to contend, and this is where teams start to fall back a little bit or progress. So this is a key stretch, and heading into the MLB draft as well near the All-Star break. So yeah. That's all I got.
Before we get to Birdie or Bogey, I did look up the Sammy Sosa 1997 Anthony Womack inside the park home runs. It was in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And
it was the same game.
It was the same game, same inning. Less than 5 minutes apart in the 6th inning. It was the first time it had happened in the same inning since 1977 when the Rangers Toby Harrah and Bump Williams did it on consecutive pitches.
Man, there had to have been some pretty generous official scoring there for guys to do it on back to back. So
that's crazy. That blows my mind. That's happened before.
Yeah.
Even in the same inning, so
definitely. And Sosa could run for sure back in the day, but Tony Womack could fly. He's a little left.
It's a name I hadn't thought of in 10 years.
He was with former Pirate, obviously.
Diamondback.
He was
he on the Cubs for a little bit?
For a month, maybe.
Okay.
And then I think he was a St. Louis Cardinal as well at one point. But that's a blast from the past. Tony Womack for sure.
Tony Womack. All right, Birdie or Bogey question for this week's pod. Who is the NBA's all-time winningest franchise to have never won an NBA championship? Winningest franchise.
Pacers.
The Pacers are 20th overall, so with 1,980 wins. So no, there's been some others who have not won a championship that have been more.
Oh man, I thought it might be the Pacers, but I thought that was too obvious. But then I thought, that maybe that's the trick question part of it.
That same thing I did to my wife. I gave her this question. She went Pacers because she thought I was tricking her with too obvious, not too obvious thing.
Inside joke. Her judgment's been a little poor here the past.
Classic.
Man, who has not won an NBA championship? Utah Jazz?
Really good guess. They're 17th all time with 2,194. This team is 8th all time on the NBA wins list.
It's probably going to make me mad, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. The Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, doesn't make me mad.
2,788. Crazy thing is, they are the all-time losingest NBA franchise with 3,299 losses.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Clearly.
They have. So, yes.
Well, another bogey in the column for
that was a tough one.
Tan and J-Man show. So we'll be back at it with another episode next Monday. Have a fantastic week, everybody.